Good day, guys. Good day, good day, good day. Let's just wait for the other guys to join. All right, so we're going to kick off with B500. So if you look to the left, to the far left, this is the weekly chart. If you look to the far left, you will notice that price actually hit a level. Okay, this area here. Okay, let me just remove this other line. Okay. Okay, price hit this level here, broke, retested, came back above, came back below. Here we came back above. So I feel like at this point we can get a few spikes. That's why I also mentioned that it's a short-term trade. So when we now jump down to the daily is bearish, but price can most likely come back and retest the 200 EMA as well. So that's another bias for us to get that short-term buy. 4 hour, we zoom in. You notice that we've got this order block or this supply zone at the top here, which hasn't been retested. We also have this supply zone here, which is also in line with my target for this particular trade. This is also where the 13 EMA will be. So what we are trading is a retracement of this push. So in case price wants to continue pushing down, this will most likely be a retracement. So jumping down to H1. Okay, here if you look at the candles, you see this is where that weekly touch is. Clean touch, price pushed up, pulled back. The current H1 candle is about to close in 4 minutes. So for me, this looks like a possible reversal intraday or a retracement pattern which can actually form there. So the only thing we need now on M15 is a pattern. Okay, let me zoom in again here. So on M15, what you notice is price actually took out this high. So we've got a break of structure there. And when price broke that area there, it left a fair value gap, which is right here. Okay, so this is what we have on M15. TDI is currently trading above the yellow baseline, so that sort of gives us a confirmation of that reversal which we want to catch. So when we jump down to M5 now, what do we have? So on M5, what we're looking for is a potential bounce off this order block, which can also be a buy limit. Then our stop loss for this particular trade is going to come just below this level here. If you also notice to the left, we had this fair value gap on the M5, which has also been retested by this move. So our stop loss is going to go below the zone you see. Then in terms of TP, we are targeting yesterday's lows, which is right here. So we are targeting, I think it's also near today's highs. That's our target. Then the next zone I'm targeting is around 55.25, somewhere at the top there. We might push up to get there. So for now, this is the setup. So if price respects this area we have marked or this order block here, if it respects here, starts to break, just know that we will get something like this. And this is our target around 54.90, 54.95. That's the target. So this trade can pay us about what, 40 pips. So we're looking forward for 30 to 40 pips at least to call this setup a success. If it continues to push up, that will just be a bonus. But I would say if the setup holds, we can get at least 30 to 40 pips and we can call it a good trade. So we can actively stoke. We already have one runner at 54, 55, I think. And I think I will have a buy limit at so you can either have a buy limit at 54.48, or you can wait for price to respect this area first, because otherwise I think they can also come a bit lower. Because if you notice this particular push up, they also left an imbalance there. This is what F5. They also left this imbalance. So price can come a little bit deeper, maybe around, let's see, around 54.44. So let's just see if, but if this level holds, then I'm definitely going to scale in on this trade. So if you also look at this pattern, I'm going to show you a similar pattern when we look at B1000. But anyways, this is my view for B5. So we'll keep actively stalking throughout the session to see if the setup actually plays out, or maybe price might continue pushing down. But let's see what happens. So jumping to B1, you notice the pattern we had yesterday, right here on M15. I think I shared this as well. When price came to this level, this was the order block. So we broke an order block, came back to this order block, almost close to this fair value gap here. Then we pushed, broke this level, and I was in this particular setup, took profit here. Then price still trickled back past this level and retested this minor level. Then from there, they still actually pushed, then came back, retested this level. Then they continued pushing up like that until the close of the day. So looking at B5, it's almost the same thing which you're anticipating. So again, that's why we also just draw these zones into the future. Because even if we miss the trade, we can still catch a good setup if price comes to any of these zones which would have been broken earlier. So on B1000 today, let's see what we have. Okay, the daily looks like it's found support on the 50 EMA. We had a nice stop and yesterday, liquidity grab before the day before yesterday's lows, and we can most likely get buys today. So let's see if we can get some more confluence. All right, so on H4 though, you can see we've got a bearish motion of price. Lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs. This price, as much as we could push up, we could also push down. So I feel like in terms of bias, the best thing to approach this will be to work with the 13 EMA. If price can remain above the 13 EMA, we can look for buys. So I would say if we can break the current highs of today, we can actively start looking for buys. Otherwise, this price might still actually push down. That's also possible. So for now, I'll say let's just stoke it. Let's get some more H1 candles in here so that we can get a better pattern. But for now, if let's say price decides to push up without coming down here, we'll definitely start looking for buys within this area here. Targets will be at the top here around 15,740 area. That'll be the target. But again, like I said, price can still decide to go bearish. So let's just wait for more candles within this range here. Let's see if the setup can improve. So for now, we're just talking, nothing too solid on B1. Then going to C3. C3, I looked at it just now. I realized we've already missed a potential move. It's been bullish, so the sell would have been a retracement. But again, price might still continue dropping. The trade which I would have wanted, though, would have been maybe to catch it somewhere in here. Potentially, we might get to these lows. Okay, this is just an order block there. Also in line with the 50 EMA there. But the reason I wouldn't want to sell though is because if you notice, price is right on the 50 static on the TDI. So we might get them pushing back up maybe to extend these highs before a reversal even happens. So again, this one, for now, I'll say let's just stoke. In terms of daily buyers, we've been strong bullish for the past couple of days. price will most likely get to the 200 EMA, but before we do that, we might get a retracement. So those sells are the ones we actually want to catch, the retracement of that move. Those are the sells we want to catch. So for now, I'll say let's just leave it on H1. See if we can get some more confluences. If you look at M15, we have this nice fair value gap, which was not retested right at the top there. So if price can come back maybe up there, then we might consider to start looking for sells. And also just be in mind, they might still decide to extend these highs. So they might still come back above, extend the high. But if they do come back below, then definitely that should be a sell. So for now, I'll say my point of interest is just this fair value gap here. This one here has already played out, as you can see, short-term sell as well. But I'm looking forward for price to come here at least. So let's see if we can get this pullback, then get that drop. That's what I would like to see for me to actually execute on C3. So I'll leave this one on M15. Then C1 looks like it's now reversing based on the pattern I'm looking at right now on H1. But let's just see if the daily can confirm. Okay, this setup, I remember last week we were talking about it. Price coming back to this level, to this level. I hope some of you guys actually caught that sell. So currently, we are bouncing off this trend line. We are bouncing off the zone. I'm trying to figure out where I drew this gray zone from. Let's see. I'm actually not quite sure, but anyways, you can also see we've got this nice W pattern here. So at this point, two things can happen from my point of view. You see the structure we have here, price can most likely still hit this level, giving us an ID50 trade for a continuation of the sell. That's very possible. But at the same time, price can still come back above, then continue on the bullish trend until they get to the 800 EMA. Those are the two things which I feel like can most likely happen with C1000. So for now, I think let's just wait. I'm going to leave it on H4, and I'm just going to be paying attention to this particular level here, because this is actually a lower high coming off this high. From this low, this is a lower low. So if we respect this area, or maybe if we take our liquidity but come back below, we simply need to locate a pattern on the H1 or M15, then get some sells going here. That's my view for now, but let's just stoke. So I'm going to leave this one on H4 and just wait for price to get into this area. So the point of interest there is 5,500. We can just say from 54.90 to 5,500. That's the point of interest where we'll be waiting to get some form of reversal so that we can actually sell. So that's my view on C1. I'm going to leave this one on H4. So C3, waiting for it on M15. C1, waiting for it on H4. Then C5, what do we have on C5? It's a pity yesterday I did not participate here. This was a nice drop from this high here. So let's see. Oh, actually, this is the daily. Okay, my bad. But anyways, we've got this channel going up, and price looks like they tapped into this level. So let me just extend that level. Okay. Exact point of interest there would be 45.68. 45.68. That's the exact point of interest. So if you notice here, price is tapped into that level, and the possibility of getting a sell here is actually high. But the sell will only become high probability when we come below the 13 EMA on the daily, or after we break this zone you see here. It will be more visible as we drop down the time frames. I would say if we can break there, we can get a nice sell. Today we can still get a sell, but it will be wiser to sell soon as the current daily candle turns bearish. So with that being said, if we drop to H1, sells should happen, or we should start looking for sells if we come below this zone. So that's a fair value gap we have. So if we can come below this fair value gap, then we can look for sells. Apart from that, I don't think I'll be interested in any sells on C5. This is the sell I was talking about on H1. I knew I saw the sell when I was looking at the charts. You see the sell from this high here all the way back to this zone. So I did not participate on this, but this was a clean setup here, clean break and a retest. Order block here also broken, retested. So there was a clean pattern there. Price was also below the 13 EMA. So that was too clean. To go on M15, just to look at it, let's see. All right, so you can see we had this high. This was the highest high. We broke an order block. Then price came back. This is almost a fair value gap here. But if we had not sold here, again, we could have just waited for this order block to be broken, retested, a clean drop, TP here, TP there. That would have been a nice trade. I'm not sure if any of you guys caught it. So looking at it today, like I said, I will only consider sells if price comes below the zone I drew. If we can come back below the zone, then I'll definitely start considering sells. So for now, we are just stalking. On my side, I'm just stalking. 45.50 is just a point of interest. It's that broken order block from yesterday. So we're just talking. Price is tapped into it. Pretty much hard to sell from here. No confirmations yet. Price still trading above the 13 EMA. So yeah, rather wait on C5 for price to come below today's open, or for the daily candle to become bearish. Then you start looking for sells. So that's it for C5. Then going to B5. Let's see. This is our point of interest. So are they going to respect it, or they are not? That's our trade. Let me just see if I can get any other confluences here. Let's see. Okay, the current H1 has no wick on the top side. The reason I'm analyzing it deeply like this is, remember, we've got a runner. So if price doesn't want to push our way, we can quickly like cut the loss without it getting too big. But let's see. It looks like we've got a spike on our point of interest right on that fair value gap. So let's see what happens. These lines look so bent. Let me just make them straight quickly. Okay, we've got 44, 48. We've got, if price breaks 54, 55, that's where our runner is. If we break it right now, okay, let me just put it slightly above. So let's say 54, 56. Once we break that, I feel like we'll push up. The setup will actually be in motion. If we can break that high there, the setup will definitely be in motion. Then if we can break this high 54.67, then definitely we should get to our TP. So let's see. We just keep stoking on it. Let's see what happens. So in terms of scaling in, if price comes above this level, this is the 5-minute time frame. If you come above here, you can scale in one position. If we come above here, you can scale in one position. But just be in mind, before we get here, we could get a retracement before we get up here. So when you scale in, just make sure you don't scale in like at the top. Just wait for that retracement, then scale in. All right, so B1, I believe we spoke about it. Going to step index. Right, let me go to the daily. You can see here, I haven't been looking at it for quite some time. You can see there's no markings at all. But anyways, price hit some liquidity points, which we had from the left. As you can see, those black lines. I'm going to remove this one. And this one, we know what price has already done. So now price will most likely come back to the 50 EMA. Especially if the daily manages to close above the 13, will most likely be coming up. But again, if the daily rejects this 13 EMA, just know that this bearish trend will continue down. Because remember, at the end of the day, we've got price creating lower lows and lower highs, lower lows, lower highs. So as soon as they reject this, this could be a lower high, and price will most likely either create lower equal lows or create a lower low. So to trade step, I think let's wait for the current daily candle to close. We'll most likely look at it tomorrow. I think that's it for step index. Just exercise patience on that one. In terms of an intraday reversal, maybe you might catch an intraday reversal. That might happen, but for now, I think it's better to just wait for the daily to close. It might close like this. See this daily candle here, then that sell will continue, like I said. So if we get this pattern, we can look for a continuation sell. Yeah, but we'll look at it tomorrow. For today, I do not have anything there. Then J10 daily has just bounced off the 50 and the 200. So these buys, I feel like they already played out, and price is between the 50 and the 13. So we are currently between a dynamic support and a dynamic resistance. Price might still trickle up right towards that red line there. Right there. We might still get that buy going up to that area there. That's still possible. But I don't think we have any clean trade today. We won't really have any clean trades here until we get out of this range. We need to at least come back above the 13 EMA or the zone for buys to continue, or come below the zone for sales to continue. Anything inside here, it might not be so clear unless you get a clear pattern. Just know that we are trading within a range. Let's see. I would rather wait for this price to come towards the 50 EMA, then look for a short-term sell. I think that's what I would rather wait for here. Rather wait for price to continue pushing up until this red area here, then maybe look for a short-term sell. If you're trading J10, I think that's how best to attack it today. So that's it for J10 step. Wait for the daily. B1, we only buying above this zone. Otherwise, we're waiting for price to give us more candles. B500 is currently on our point of interest. So if we do push up and break these red lines, will scale in, and the setup will actually be a good trade for the day. That's the only setup which I'm active on at the moment. C5, it looks like they could sell, but again, safe sells are below this gray zone. You see, this is H1, so I'll still be patient with that one. C1, waiting for it on H4 for them to get to this point of interest, then we'll start looking for a potential sell. C3, waiting for them on M15 on this fair value gap or slightly above today's highs. So that's it for me today. I'll just leave my chart on the B5, which is currently active. We've got positions on 54, 55. Our stop loss is below this last level here. You can buy here if you want, but if you want to wait for more confirmation, you can start scaling in here. Then you can scale in right there. then we can hold to see if price can get to around 54.85, 54.95, 5500 area if the setup holds. So remember to always trade what you see, not what I say, and risk only money which you can afford to lose. I'm not sure if there's any questions before we close up. If there's any questions, you guys can just drop them on the comment section there. Do we have any questions? If there's no questions, or if you've got a question later, you can still drop it either on my DM on Telegram or even in the Telegram group. Then I'll still be able to help you guys out. So for now, this is our setup. Let's just see. For now, for the setup to play out, we simply need to come back above the 50 EMA. We simply need to come back above the 50 EMA, because as long as we are below right now, the probability of this setup playing out right now is still low until we break this level. So based on our current pattern, if we stay below, then definitely price will be pushing down, so our stop loss will be hit. But as soon as we come back above this level and above the 50 EMA, then we'll most likely get the trade which we want. So I think that's it from me today, guys. If there's no questions, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for joining. This session will be shared on YouTube, so in case you want to go over it again, you get the link just now. For those watching on YouTube, if this material is helpful, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much, guys. Enjoy the rest of your week. Good trading.